Welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Mike, and I'm here with Paul.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we are doing it again. We are dusting off one of our favorite movies. We're going to talk about it and bring it to you. Mike, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about 1986 James Cameron's Aliens.
The sequel to the amazing movie Alien that we just talked about yesterday. Starring Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn, Bill Paxton. We miss you, brother. Jeanette Goldstein, Paul Reiser, Lance Henderson, and Carrie Henn. Mike, this movie is one of my top favorites. How does it rank with you?
Well, I've always loved the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres in film. So, this is definitely, up there. I don't have my, top list out there yet published, but it's on it. So.
This movie is in my top 10. I was 16 years old when this movie came out. I remember seeing the trailer for the first time in the movie theater, and I still remember the excitement that I experienced. So let's talk about why this movie was so good. My first thought was the story. The story was extremely well written. We had a different director this time. It was James Cameron. And he just did an amazing job directing this story.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you've got the story by David Giler and Walter Hill, based on Dan O'Bannon's characters. Just amazing all around. Very, when you got James Cameron at the helm, it's hard to go wrong.
Now, there's a couple things I'm struggling with. What was the best aspect of this movie? Was it the special effects? Because at that time, they blew us away with their special effects. And by the way, I truly believe that this movie can stand the test of time. Because when you look at it today, it still looks pretty awesome. And they did not have all the CGI effects that we have today.
Yeah, for me, it's the pacing. You've got this is an action sci-fi horror film, and I think the pacing is great. It keeps you. I don't think that there's parts in the movie where you're kind of drift off or you get bored. It just keeps going. If it's not the characters sucking you in and the situations, it's the action. It's just a fun movie.
Well, and let's not forget about the humor. There were so many one-liners in this movie that is still being quoted 30 years later. Game over, man. I love that line. Get away from her, you bitch. We see those lines in today's pop culture.
That's right. Hey, Vasquez, you ever been mistaken for a man?
No, have you? We could do an entire episode, Mike, just talking about the one-liners for this movie.
The top 15 one-liners from Aliens.
Now, another thing I really loved about this movie is when you look at, Ellen Ripley. She had such a huge arc in this movie. They show her at the beginning, she's talking about the Stromo, the destruction, whaling company. They pretty much crucified her, and she has this lowly docking position. Paul Reisner, he comes up to her. Hey, look, there's a problem. We need you as a consultant. She doesn't want to do it. She's concerned. She's afraid. She does not want to address her demons. Then she decides, you know what? I need to be part of this. She goes from a victim mentality to a hero, a true hero in this movie, where she rescues the girl, she rescues the man, she kills the queen, and she's the hero of the day. So I love that character arc with Sigourney Weaver.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Now, there was also another character arc that I loved as well. We have Bill Paxton as Private Hudson. We can't ignore this one. During the entire movie, he was this sarcastic, smart-ass, funny character. And he was also a coward during probably 80% of the movie. And at the very end, he nailed it. He's just shooting aliens. He's getting pissed off. and he died a hero's death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. And he's one of the favorites, from the film. Michael Biehn, of course, a couple of my favorites. Bill Paxton, Michael Biehn. Just fun to watch.
And another thing too is the character Bishop. Through the course of the movie, we couldn't tell, is Bishop a good guy? Is he a bad guy? I mean, we had the original android in Alien, and he ended up being a bad guy. So I can see how, Ripley could view Bishop as an untrustworthy individual.
Right, and she did, and she let everybody know.
And at the very end, when she's at the final piece where she confronted the queen, she's on that platform, everything's blown up, and there's no shuttle. And you can just look at her face and go, she's crushed. She's dead inside, and there's no hope. And all of a sudden, the shuttle shows up, and there's Bishop in the cockpit. And I think a million nerds cheered at that moment, going, you know what? Bishop is a good guy.
Well, see, now you want to make me watch the movie again.
Well, actually, Christine and I are going to watch this movie as soon as we upload this. So that's our plan for tonight. And I think everyone cheered at that moment, and that was just an amazing scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with that being said, Mike, let's wrap this up. I love this movie. This is probably of the entire Aliens franchise, this is the best movie. I think it's going to be hard pressed to top it. So if you have not seen the movie Aliens, unsubscribe to this channel and unlike us on Facebook, because this is what pulp culture is. If you have not seen this movie, guys, watch it. You will love it. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, definitely my favorite of the Alien series, and hyped to see the next one next weekend.
We are both excited about that. So with that being said, peace out.